Hello, I'm Laura Painter. You're watching an ABC10 Plus recap of stories you may have missed. A lawsuit was filed in the wake of the fireworks warehouse explosion in Esparto. Then an update on a lawsuit alleging SMUD illegally shares customer energy data. Are people of Asian descent being targeted? The ABC10 Plus recap starts right now.
And we start with new details tonight in a lawsuit alleging a local utility is illegally sharing customer energy use data with law enforcement to bust illegal cannabis grow houses. ABC10's Becca Hobbecker joins us live in studio with an update to a story that we first brought you back in 2022.
Yeah, Alex, the Sacramento Municipal Utility District, SMUD, and Sacramento Police Department are named as defendants in a lawsuit filed nearly 3 years ago. Since then, attorneys have been gathering evidence, nearly 2,000 pages of it, which they filed and made public on Friday.
The Sacramento Police Department every 3 months sends a request to SMUD that says, we want you to give us a list of all of the homes in the city of Sacramento that are using more than 2,800 kilowatt hours in the month. Then they winnow that to people who supposedly have a suspicious pattern of electricity usage. This is every 3 months. It is going on right now.
Adam Schwartz is the privacy litigation director of the Electronic Frontier Foundation, which describes itself as the leading nonprofit organization defending civil liberties in the digital world. He's one of the attorneys on this case, filed in September of 2022 on behalf of 2 SMUD customers and a group called the Asian American Liberation Network against SMUD, the city of Sacramento, and SacPD.
I was surprised by the scale of this program.
He says SacPD has been doing this for a decade now in search of illegal cannabis grow houses, which use a lot of electricity.
It is a dragnet surveillance program of home electricity usage where everybody's power use is under the microscope. The thing that's striking about the power threshold that SMUD and the police view as suspicious is that it has been steadily dropping over time. It began a decade ago at 7,000 kilowatt hours to 2,800 today. People who use this much power might be heating their pool or using air conditioning or putting up Christmas lights.
He says the evidence his team discovered and filed Friday shows in the past decade, SacPD has requested this kind of information from SMUD some 90 times, which SMUD has provided.
And if you add together all of the homes on all of those lists, there are more than 30,000 addresses.
He says one of his clients, Alfonso Nguyen, had law enforcement show up at his house twice in several years.
He was burning a lot of power for heating and air conditioning to maintain his body at a steady temperature because he has a disability.
He says your energy use can reveal a lot about your private life, from when you wake up, run major appliances, and leave your home. He says that data is subject to federal and state privacy laws and should not be shared with law enforcement in such a broad way.
The sequence should be first, the police have suspicion of a particular person, and then there is a search of their sensitive power data, as opposed to first you do a dragnet search of everybody's sensitive data in order to develop suspicion of one person.
I reached out to SMUD, the Sacramento Police Department, and City of Sacramento. The city and PD declined to comment, citing pending litigation. SMUD sent ABC10 this statement, saying SMUD has robust policies and procedures in place to protect our customers' meter usage data. We're required by law to provide electricity usage data to law enforcement in accordance with their investigations. A judge is set to hear the case in October. Schwartz hopes the judge will order SMUD to stop this practice.
I asked the Sacramento Police Department specifically if they can tell how many illegal cannabis grows they have busted as a result of this information from SMUD. They didn't have that information readily available and directed me to file a public records request. Alex?
And now to the other top story. Today marks 3 weeks since the Esparto fireworks warehouse explosion. It left 7 people dead. And tonight, the California State Fire Marshal is providing an update on their investigation after suspending all licenses of the 2 pyrotechnic companies involved. It comes at the same time a lawsuit has been filed against those companies. ABC 10's Roxanne Elias is live at the scene of that warehouse explosion.
Roxanne, what are you hearing from the people who live out there?
Well, Laura, there are some residents out here that have just been able to return to their homes a few days ago after being evacuated back in July 1st when everything happened. They tell us that now they're worried about some of the long lasting effects they feel the fire and the fireworks will have on these crops and farm fields. Weeks after the Esparto fire, farm workers have begun the hard job of removing large items of debris that were dropped into their crops during the explosion on July 1st. On Tuesday, this was a pile of twisted metal dragged out of an almond field across from where it all happened. At the same time, Esparto residents showing up at the Yolo County Board of Supervisors meeting to express their concerns.
I'm concerned about, I know you guys had a huge discussion about the explosion last week, how deep it really goes. I dare not speak against what may be going on in Yolo County, but it's concerning to have ammunition, explosives, and to have no one accountable for it.
This was the ammunition we were able to see through a fence after all roadblocks were removed for the first time this weekend. State Fire Marshal Chief Daniel Berlant says their focus now is on interviewing witnesses. Then that may open up additional steps in the investigation.
From there, we'll follow up on leads, continue to analyze the evidence that has been collected. All of this to try to work for us to piece together exactly what happened the moments before the explosion.
The first lawsuit has also been filed against Kenneth Chi, the owner of Devastating Pyrotechnics, Craig Cutright, the owner of Black Star Fireworks, and Yolo County Sheriff's Lieutenant Sam Machado, who is the owner of the property. According to Etta James Farming, they are suing for damages done to their 74 acres of crops and farm equipment.
It was a preventable event. We specialize in handling these kinds of cases, and certainly it's not something that would happen unless people aren't following the correct procedures. These are extremely dangerous materials. There are certain standards and protocols that need to be followed. And when they're not, really bad things can happen.
Esparto residents say they now want to see justice served for the 7 people who lost their lives.
So again, I'm sorry that who it is, and we don't like seeing this for public officials, but we have to be accountable for the actions and the deaths that happen.
Now, happening in the next 30 days, the California State Fire Marshal plans to make a determination based on the evidence that they have if they should permanently revoke the licenses for both of these companies. He says per law, they have about 30 days to have that suspension in place, which falls by mid-August. I'm live in Esparto. Roxanne Elias, ABC 10.
Yeah, still lots to track as this investigation unfolds. Keep us posted as you learn more. Roxanne, thank you. Meanwhile, tonight, dozens of people living at a homeless camp in North Stockton are looking for a new place to stay.
Yeah, the city cleared the camp today after more than a decade and several previous cleanup efforts. They now plan to patrol the area each day to prevent people from coming back.
This isn't just a one-time cleanup for the city of Stockton. It's about educating and letting them know that we have those services available if you're willing to accept them.
Now, the city says the cost for the cleanup has not been determined, but it will be shared between the State Lands Commission, the county, and other agencies involved.
A deal that would have financed the expansion of the Sacramento Railards project beyond the new soccer stadium has officially been stopped. The committee overseeing the special taxing district met today to formally accept the results of the protest from people living in the district. Opponents of the funding plan say it lacks enough affordable housing. State law says if at least 50% of residents or landowners within the proposed boundaries of a project, such as the Railyard Infrastructure Refinancing District, submit valid protests, then the Public Financing Authority can't expand the district for at least a year.
What happened today is this version of the deal, was stopped by these residents standing up. And now, it's on the city to figure out what's next.
Now the city is looking into alternative funding plans. As for the Railyard Soccer Stadium, that project is unaffected and is currently going through the planning and permitting process.
Well, new tonight, Ozzy Osbourne has died at 76 years old. He was surrounded by his family.
Yeah, ABC's Rena Roy has a look back at his remarkable life.
Ozzy Osbourne, undoubtedly one of the most beloved and iconic heavy metal performers, has died at the age of 76. His family saying it's with more sadness than mere words can convey that we have to report that our beloved Ozzy Osbourne has passed away this morning. He was with his family and surrounded by love. Osbourne co-founded the band Black Sabbath in 1968 in his hometown of Birmingham, England. He gained notoriety for his often drug and alcohol-fueled antics on stage, which earned him the nicknames the Prince of Darkness and the Metal Madman. Osbourne was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease back in 2019, speaking with ABC News about the illness in 2022.
How's your mobility these days?
Not great, but I mean, I have to negotiate everywhere I'm going to go, you know. And I tire easily, but I'm well. Right. My family have been absolutely wonderful while I've been laid up.
Rock and roll! He gained fans from a younger generation, starring with his family on the reality TV show The Osbournes, which aired on MTV in the early 2000s. The UK native also spoke about having 9 lives and his hard partying days in Black Sabbath.
You have the 9 lives of a cat, don't you?
He's got more than that, let me tell you.
I mean, I should have been dead a long time ago.
He was known for hits including Iron Man, Paranoid, War Pigs, Crazy Train, and Bark at the Moon, both with the band and as a solo star. His death comes just weeks after reuniting with his Black Sabbath bandmates and performing a huge farewell concert for fans back in Birmingham, taking the stage for the final time. He once said this about performing.
When I get on a stage, something takes over. My spirit becomes alive.
And Osbourne was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a Black Sabbath member back in 2006. He leaves behind his wife Sharon and his 6 children. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
And tributes are pouring in after the tragic death of actor Malcolm Jamal Warner, famous for playing Theodore Huxtable for 8 seasons on the sitcom The Cosby Show. Costa Rican authorities releasing this image of the scene where his body was found. The 54-year-old drowned in Costa Rica Sunday while on a family vacation. Police say he was caught in a rip current while swimming near a beach in Limon. Investigators say beachgoers tried to rescue him, but it was too late. Today, police say an autopsy confirms his death was accidental.
Welcome back. The Department of Justice says it plans to meet with Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's co-conspirator, who is now in prison.
Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche says the FBI and DOJ want to hear what Maxwell has to say. President Trump says that meeting sounds appropriate. ABC's Perry Russum has the details tonight.
The Department of Justice today says it plans to meet with Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's co-conspirator, in the coming days. Maxwell is currently serving a 20-year prison sentence for her role in enticing and recruiting underage girls to be sexually abused by Epstein. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche says he plans to meet with Maxwell, saying in a statement, if Ghislaine Maxwell has information about anyone who has committed crimes against victims, the FBI and the DOJ will hear what she has to say.
Your Deputy Attorney General is reached out to Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney asking for a new interview.
Yeah, I don't know about it, but I think it's something that sounds appropriate to do, yeah.
Blanche is Trump's former personal attorney.
He's a very talented person. He's very smart. I didn't know that they were going to do it. I don't really follow that too much. It's sort of a witch hunt.
Maxwell's lawyer today telling ABC News, I can confirm that we are in discussions with the government and that Ghislaine will always testify truthfully. On Capitol Hill, among the bipartisan calls to release all of the Epstein files,
put up or shut up.
There is new Republican infighting as Kentucky Congressman Thomas Massie tries to force House Speaker Mike Johnson to hold a vote on the House floor, compelling the DOJ to release the files.
President's staff, administration, his own children, his vice president have promised that these files would come out, and now we're being told it's a hoax. It doesn't wash.
Speaker Johnson accusing Massie of playing political games.
Let me just say about Thomas Massie, could you just accept my Southern, bless his heart, okay? I don't know what else to say about it. We're for maximum transparency. We're engaging in that right now, and we don't need political games.
Congressman James Comer of Republicans says he plans to subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell as soon as possible. A spokesperson for Comer says they will work with the DOJ and the Bureau of Prisons to find a date when she can be questioned. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
A traffic alert for you now. Starting Thursday night, Caltrans will add another traffic shift along I-80. This will impact westbound lanes heading towards Davis through the causeway just past Charles Road. This work is meant to improve the concrete barrier. No word on how long this lane change will be in effect. Well, now to this wild story. A driverless taxi with a mind of its own took its passenger on an unexpected ride.
You can say that again. Tim Johns has the story from San Francisco.
This was way more than I had bargained for.
For Darren Findling, his Monday morning Waymo trip was an experience he'll likely never forget. Findling, who lives in Michigan, says he downloaded the app to get himself a ride to a convention he was in town for at the Moscone Center. But midway through his ride, something went wrong, an experience he documented in a social media post.
I think I just got kidnapped by Waymo. Buckle up and listen to this story.
Findling tells us the Waymo suddenly pulled off the street and into a parking garage.
And what was crazy about this parking structure is I went from like normal humanity into robot world. Self-driving vehicles going up and down the floors of this multi-level parking garage, parking itself. And I was in this vehicle, not sure what I was supposed to do.
What he did was eventually manage to get a hold of a Waymo representative. He says that person was able to override his car and get Findling back on the correct route.
They couldn't figure out why I was there, what caused the vehicle to go there, and it was quite rare that something like this would happen.
Waymo told us the vehicle had entered the parking structure because it determined it was the quickest route to Findling's destination. Despite the hiccup, Findling says the company has been helpful.
They did provide me with a free ride, and they told me that I would get 2 free rides that would expire in about a week.
And as for if he's willing to take another autonomous vehicle next time he's in town, Findling says the experience hasn't changed his view on the service.
I do realize that technology is not perfect, and there's a ways to go for this Waymo to be really perfect.
At least he had a good attitude about it, huh?
It was way more than he bargained for.
Way more.
Oh,
I love that.
Goodness.
I have to say, this weather is way more than we expected too, especially this time of year, in a good way, right?
We're loving it. Keep it coming, please.
I know, I had to dig out sleeves today. I was like, oh, okay, let me find the sleeveless and everything. But yeah, it's kind of sweatshirt weather and no complaints there. Kind of fall-like feel out as well. Cloud cover streaming through for today. Showers in the Tahoe Basin. Not everything reaching the ground, but just kind of, again, feeling that fall feel out there on this Tuesday. Expanding this picture just a bit, you can see the low pressure system moving off to the east. It's the tail end of this, kind of draped across the central part of the state. Now we've got another low just off the coast that's starting to form, and that's going to keep us with the potential for some thunderstorms in this area for the rest of the week. July rundown, whole lot of blue already on this map, and we're going to add more to it. The official reading not out for today yet, but it's coming in within about the next half hour or so. Likely going to be right around 80 degrees or so for today for that afternoon high. Again, putting another blue check on that map there with our average so far. Just slightly over 90 degrees for those average high temperatures. Only one day this month with a 100-degree temperature. The last time we didn't see any 100-degree temperatures for the month, at least in modern record keeping here, 2004, and only one 100-degree day for the month back in 1993. So it's really rare that we don't have at least a couple of those 100s in the month of July. It's just this month happens to be one of those particularly abnormal years on the cool side. We deserved it after last year, right? Highs for today in the 80s up and down the valley, 79 for Fairfield. Again, these are the preliminary afternoon highs, 60s and 70s in the foothills, as well as for the Tahoe Basin. Now, we saw the cloud cover come in for today, quite breezy for the morning as well. We warmed to readings in the upper 70s, low 80s. That's where we are right now with our sunset, not until 8:25. Tahoe currently at 66 with mostly sunny skies. We got the showers just up to the north of South Lake Tahoe. So our Cal Expo State Fair forecast, we're kind of wrapping up the tail end here for the 2025 season. We'll start the day off with cloud cover. We clear that for the afternoon. Our high 83 degrees, 10 degrees below average. I know State Fair officials are probably saying, fine with us, keep it coming. Severe weather outlook, though, as we start to head up in elevation, this is where we draw on that chance of thunderstorms, and it is going to elevate the fire danger as well. Little low pressure system just kind of giving us that instability for the higher elevations as it moves inland. Thursday, another day day of convection and slightly higher fire risk due to the potential for lightning sparked fires. This will continue into our Friday and even in our Saturday forecast as well. So you can see that high potential there due to lightning for the Sierra as well as through parts of Northern California. We'll be following that story closely. Highs in the 70s tomorrow for the Sierra with 70s and 80s down low after morning lows in the 50s and 60s along the coast. It was so foggy for the coast for today. 80s inland to right around 90 degrees, kind of slowly starting to warm things up, but that's it. It's not like we're on this big warming trend. Keep in mind we have that chance of thunderstorms for the Sierra if you plan any travel up into the high country. As far as our extended forecasting, below average here for the next several days. We warm up slightly by early next week. That only gets us near average, and then it does appear that the trends are continuing to favor a cooler than average end to next week.
And I've noticed a lot of people are loving it, taking advantage of it. Those morning walks, a lot more people getting out there, but then also, like you said, wearing those long sleeves. So they're feeling the chill in the morning.
Right, certainly.
So maybe we'll make that 100-degree day, huh?
Yeah, we're getting close to the end of July. I know.
Okay.
There you go.
Welcome back in. I'm Kevin John. If you can conceive it and believe it, you can achieve it. And that quote best describes the journey of a local 16-year-old golf sensation.
Ever since I started golf, I thought of golf as a fun game to play. It kept me occupied. But once I gotten more serious about it, I think the discipline came in when I wanted to take my golf game to a higher level.
And now she's soaring to new heights. Elk Grove native Gianna Singh is fresh off winning her first tournament on the Underrated Golf Tour. This tour was started by Warrior superstar Stephen Curry with the mission of making golf more equitable to boys and girls of all backgrounds.
We get to play on championship courses that LPGA and PGA Tour players play on. We get to travel like pros. The expenses are paid for hotel, food, transportation. Basically, all you have to do is get on a plane and go play golf.
While it may sound like a fun life, it comes with making a lot of sacrifices.
This summer, I haven't been home too much. I think I've been home like 2 weeks out of the summer right now. Usually right now, my travel schedule is like 3 states in 3 weeks, which is pretty cool. I think I've traveled to at least like 6 states this summer.
And while Gianna is traveling the country playing in various tournaments, she considers it a privilege to represent her hometown.
It's an honor to represent my Elk Grove, California, because it's a pretty small town, and being able to represent your city and play well, I think it's a great honor to represent them.
And even though she sacrifices being at home a lot, she knows it will all be worth it.
I think all the sacrifice I'm making right now, it's going to pay off in the long run, because ever since I was little, my goal is to play professional golf, and I want to win a lot of tournaments when I turn pro and hopefully become one of the first Fijian golfers to be in the Hall of Fame for women's golf.
Well, she is definitely on the way to that point. Now, she will be able to play in the Curry Cup Championship, so that's coming up. She's looking forward to it.
Way to go, Gianna.
Headwaters Adventure Company is teaming up with the Lionheart community for a life-changing day on the water.
Yeah, the team led 13 paraplegic individuals and 1 blind adventurer down the scenic Lower American River. Our photojournalist Hugh Wilson shows us a special kayaking and rafting experience designed to empower and inspire.
I funded a nonprofit to serve the paralyzed community just because we don't have a lot of opportunity to do things. So part of what we do is recreation, and I'm a big boater, always have been. So I would just love to open it up for more people that have never had this experience to have it.
All right, find the bumps.
It was actually started from COVID. Like, all of the local support groups had closed down, so one of the hospitals reached out to me and asked if I would start an online support group, and that just ended up being really successful because a lot of people from remote areas could join, and also people with higher injuries that have a hard time getting out of the house.
Somebody came to a roll class, a kayak roll class. His name is Jimmy Brenner, and he wanted to do whitewater kayaking, and I started doing a little research on how to make that happen. And unfortunately, he's not here today. So Jimmy, I want to see you on the next one. Looking forward to that. But basically, it started getting me involved with the Lionheart community to do this, with not just Jimmy, but whoever else wanted to join. So that's how that kind of came to be.
We chose this stretch of the river because it's really simple. It's mostly class 1, and I think there's 1 or 2 class 2s. So this is a good river to just get used to headwaters and have headwaters get used to our community. And also, if people have never tried rafting before, it gives them an opportunity to come in an atmosphere that's not so adventurous or dangerous.
I am a wheelchair user, paralyzed from the chest down, and this is going to be my first time in the water. So I am kind of excited.
Thank you to your organizations here putting this together for us.
My hope is to just be able to reach people more, to give them opportunities to get out of the house and recreate, to meet other people with spinal cord injuries so they can find solutions to problems that they're having trouble finding solutions to. And yeah, I think that being out in nature just helps your nervous system in general.
I think it'd be cool if we can continue this, not even as an annual thing, but as a, whenever they want to do it. So we'll see where it goes.
Thank you so much for watching this ABC10 Plus recap. We're here 24/7 on the free ABC10 Plus TV streaming app. You can get your local news and weather anytime, anywhere. I'm Laura Painter. Take care and see you next time.
We're in day 1 of a weather impact alert.
Tracking a couple big weather impacts, including a red flag warning and big heat developing.
Heavy rain continues. I hear it on the roof right now.
We're already seeing the impact of the storm.
We're planning for those changes.
Triple-digit heat leading to cancellations and concerns.
Stay fire ready.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on ABC10 Plus.